say fireflies like this.
I say it often and I say it again. Many great games come from mods, not executive boards chasing a trend. Thus let us explore a medieval Half-Life 2 origin story. Because before Mordhau, before Chivalry 2 and even before Chivalry Medieval Warfare, there was Half-Life 2. And it brought upon us the Age of Chivalry. Halt. I know, banger song for a banger game, but even though this mod is from 2007, this isn't 2007 YouTube anymore. Copyright is a thing nowadays. So, as I was saying, Age of Chivalry came before the modern Chivalry and Mordhau games. In fact, the Half-Life 2 total conversion mod Age of Chivalry was made by the people who later formed Torn Banner Studios, the creators of Chivalry Medieval Warfare. And if you know these more modern games, you will feel at home very quickly in the mod, once you adapt it to the a bit more crude looks of this antique. The gameplay is less refined, yes, but honestly, in my humble opinion, that certain Source Engine jank just adds to the charm. The action can be just as dense as in any modern melee fighting game. And since this is an old Source Engine mod we are talking about, intellectual property wasn't that much of a concern. There's a straight up copy of Helm's Deep in the game, even called Helm's Deep. Such was the style of the day, and I love it for it. Work on the mod began around 2005, shortly after the release of Half-Life 2, with the first version being released to great acclaim just 2 years later. Initial versions only saw 3 classes: Archer, Footman and Knight. These classes were later expanded into 3 subclasses each, counting 9 in total, adding such weapons as crossbows, javelins and halberds. The latter one a personal favorite of mine. Zing, and gone with the head. The ranged classes can only take very little damage and best keep their distance. The Archer shoots fast and deals medium damage. The crossbowman reloads slower, but his crossbow fires a mighty bolt able of penetrating armor. The javelins? Well, you are a glass cannon, but relatively fast, capable of outrunning knights when they come too close for comfort. And hurling a javelin into someone who's charging at you with a poleaxe is really satisfying, especially if you manage to take him down. Almost as funny as setting him on fire with a firepot. These are available to the medium classes, which are composed of the footmen, armed for close combat and relatively fast. If you got room to maneuver, they can take on any heavy knight. But once it comes to the close quarters, there the knight excels, with heavy armor and weapons capable of crushing all opposition.
Say fireflies like this. But there is less armor.
Sword and shield, axe or warhammer, they may be a bit slower, but they are more deadly. In addition to all that, some maps feature siege equipment like catapults. They do provide some heavy ordnance indeed, capable of ripping you apart in a split second.
Kill me.
Oh, fuck right off, seriously.
Into the breach, men! Forward! To glory! Charge!
Matches usually revolve around conquering a fortress or capturing objectives, or of course, just outright deathmatch. And these maps were not built willy-nilly. There is an overarching story narrative to this game. In short, there's war in our fictional kingdom. The evil Mason Order is fighting against the Agarthian Knights. Okay, to be fair, I never really cared deeply about the lore. I played it a lot when it came out in 2007 and I just loved it for the gameplay. Slash and hack, dense battles on Helm's Deep, pushing the battering ram up to the main gate or blowing up the wall. Man, this is great. Or you can also just go haywire on many of the old custom maps. A year ago I tested a bunch of old maps with a few friends, and suddenly we found ourselves battling Half-Life 2 antlions and zombies with our medieval equipment. I can't find the footage anymore, but I'll tell you, hilarity ensued. But that's the case with every session of this slightly wacky medieval combat mod. It's janky, but great fun. and it's available for download on Steam. I'll link it in the video description. Sadly, the player numbers are extremely low nowadays, with only a handful of servers remaining. A great shame, considering there used to be even a little competitive scene for this game. Looking at the old videos of it, it seems so surreal today. Those times will probably not come again, but if your virtual bloodlust cannot be quenched by any modern game, and you really want to try out the original Age of Chivalry, then come and join the ESCalation Discord server.
Time to execute it.
Probably.
Oh my god. Ah!
Oh, I killed a Brazilian man.
No, you did it. You killed
Hey,
another guy,
yes,
but
he's
I
on
got
fire.
Yeah.
Ah, well, I'm dead.
Smells
Oh,
like
wait, it's still
smells
not.
like burnt fox.
Community Game Night may be a great opportunity to see Age of Chivalry bursting with life once again. I would love that, as this is one of my absolute favorite mods of all time. Therefore, I could not resist. Age of Chivalry has gotten worthy successors that I do enjoy as well, but from time to time, I like to get back to the roots and see how it all started. The mod Age of Chivalry and its sequels provide us with yet another great example of why games need mod support. If you enjoyed today's video, I am certain you know what I would like you to do. Give this video a like, subscribe for future content, and if you absolutely love what we do, why not consider supporting us on Patreon, as our supporters there got to see this video well before anyone else. And our generous supporters are Lone Wolf, Zed Gladys, Wrapped in Glass, Cookie, AX98, Theto, Rival556, Plasma, Tome, Rainbow Flash, Grizzlyvia, Strange Module, Cop Fighter, Inter, Charles Surrit, Sir K, Ram Gilama, Zane, Whiskey, Christoph, MTD, Leggy Boy, Daniel, Freylim, CronyXS, TheoVO, and Grayling 2. To them and everyone else, thanks for watching. And since you are one of the few percent that stayed till the end of the video, here is a little post-credit bonus for you.
We now return to Stabbed in the Butt.
You see, they were working on Age of Chivalry for quite some time. That means there were a lot of ideas that floated around but were never implemented. Yes, cut content of Age of Chivalry, such as a cut siege engineer class. The documentation for these cut elements is sadly not as great as with Counter-Strike, but there is something very interesting. The creators shared a bunch of unreleased maps on their ModDB page a few years ago, and you can go and explore them, such as Barleen's Tomb, or test maps from when they tried to implement rideable horses. These maps don't necessarily work that well, but they are cut content that is interesting to explore, at least to me. It's really funny, those horses, they use the Jeep mechanics from Half-Life 2. So, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.
Swords in their